What's up, family? Your girl is back. Your girl is back with another one. I want to talk to y'all about how you attract every person in your life. For good, for bad, for ugly. It is your internal makeup. It is your subconscious mind. It is your personal energy that attracts these people to you. And you attract these people who manifest in your life for a very specific, a very sacred, a very spiritual reason. Okay? You attract every person that has manifested in your life for a very spiritual, a very sacred, and a very specific and purposeful reason. And that's one of the first things that I want y'all to understand. We have about 9 days. We have 9 days until we go into how to heal from toxic family and intimate relationships. That's taking place in 9 days. If you are on Patreon, you need to be a Patreon member in order to get into that class for free. Okay? In order to get into that class, you need to be a Patreon member. Okay? The easiest way to do it is going to be to become a Patreon member. And I want to talk to y'all a little bit about one of the most important things that I need y'all to understand before we even go into the class. Before we even go into the class, I really want y'all to understand that every single person you've attracted into your life, whether it is your mother, your father, your boyfriend, every single person who is your coworker, the lady who checks you out at your local grocery store, every single person who has ever manifested in your life, no matter how intimate or no matter how distant the relationship was, you manifested them into your life for a very spiritual, a very sacred, and a very specific reason. And I want y'all to know that before we go into the class on August 15th. Class is August 15th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay? And that's one of the first things that I want y'all to understand before we even get into it. Because if you don't understand that concept right there, if you don't understand that concept first, you will always be stuck in a place of blaming the other person for what they did and did not do. I don't care if it's your mother, your brother, your father, your cousin, every person. And so with that said, we're going to talk about it. Before we jump all the way in there, let me say what's up to the family. What's up, CNC Music, Tangela, Will, NFN Shaka, Erica, hey sis, Eileen, Dream, what's up, babe? What's up, Gwen? What's up, Biora? I'm happy to have you here as well, sis. So, shout out to y'all, and shout out to anybody who watches this video on a playback. And y'all who are already here, like and share. Why not? Why not like and share? The song that is coming up in my head that explains this energy so powerfully is Macy Gray. Macy Gray, I try to say goodbye and I choke. I try to walk away and I stumble. Though I try to hide it, it's clear. My world crumbles when you are not here. So that right, how that ties into this topic, how that ties into this specific topic is that when you don't realize why a certain person manifested in your life, you'll try to walk away from that person and manifest the same energy in a different person. You'll try to say goodbye to that person and you'll end up speaking, talking, and engaging with someone who has the same thought process, the same understandings, the same thinking as that person you're trying to walk away from, which is why you keep stumbling, because Spirit is like, nah, come on back. Spirit is like, you need to come back to this person, not to be in a relationship with them, so to speak, but to realize, that there is a lesson within that relationship, that there is something that you were supposed to gain, that there is something that you were supposed to realize as to why you attracted and manifested this person in your life. So anytime you think you're trying to walk away, you're going to stumble. You're going to stumble right into somebody else who's going to do the same stuff. It could be, you could be thinking you walking away from your mother because she's controlling, she's this, she's that. And then you turn around and you manifest a relationship with a man or with a woman who's controlling. You could say, you know what, I'm not going to worry about my father. He this, he that. I'm not going to see why I chose him to be my father. I'm not going to determine why I chose him to be the person to birth me. Instead of me addressing myself and why I made that decision, I'm just going to go and I'm just going to leave him alone. I'm just not even going to deal with it. And then you manifest a relationship with another man who has those same qualities, who has that same energy as your father. Okay? And so one of the first and most important things as we are going into this class, how to heal from toxic, intimate, and family relationships, one of the very first things that is going to be your saving grace in doing this healing work is understanding that everybody has manifested in your life for a reason. I have manifested in your life for a reason. Everybody is reflecting back to you something about you. Either it is something that you refuse to see and acknowledge, or either it is something that you need to transform, that you need to let go of. It may be something that you need to expound upon, that you need to grow from, that's why coaching and working with me is so powerful. And I think I want all of my coaching clients, present and past and future, to know and understand that as much as you feel like I'm giving to you, you are giving to me. As much as you feel like I am helping you and supporting you on your healing path, you are helping me and supporting me on my healing path. Okay? And that's facts. That's because with each of my clients, I already consciously know, based off of the spiritual work that I do, which is helping you heal your relationship with self to heal your relationship with others, because that is the work that I do. I know that every client that I sit down and I talk with, whether it's just in a consultation, whether it's a complimentary call, or whether it's coaching, I know that there's something within them that I need to look at within myself, that I need to expand on within myself, or that I need to heal within myself. And that's just what it is. Okay? That's just what it is. So every person who you've ever attracted into your life, no matter if it was a coworker, a boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, ex-wife or husband, ex-husband, mother, father, friend, whoever, you attracted that person for a very specific reason. And in order for you to start healing, one of the very first things that you have to do is take responsibility for your own subconscious mind. You must take responsibility for your own energy that attracted that person to you. See, what y'all really need to know and understand is that even your parents, you chose those parents. A lot of people, when they get mad at their parents, they say things like, I didn't choose to be here. That's a lie. You did choose to be here. If you didn't want to be here, you wouldn't want to be here. Okay? If you didn't want to be here, you wouldn't be here. I didn't chose my father. I didn't choose my mother. Yes, you did. If you go and study any ancient Egyptian text, any ancient mythological text, you will see that when you are in the astral as a soul, hanging out, doing what you're doing, before you incarnate, before you choose a parent, before you choose parents, what you essentially do is you scout out energies. And these energies that you scout out, you're looking for the correspondence they have to you in your past life. Now, this may be getting too deep for some of you. It may fly right over your head. Don't worry about it. It may fly right over your head. I get it. But when you are waiting to decide to incarnate into the physical again, you are analyzing the energies that are already present on earth, okay, to determine who, between what two people are going to give you the experiences that you need to heal your past. We watched that movie K-Pax last night. Right? And one of the things that the guy said at the end of the movie, I don't know who Dream got this movie from. I'm sure he got it from one of y'all. But at the end of the movie, one of the things that he said is, whatever mistakes you've made in the present life that you don't rectify, you will have to go through in the next life. Whatever mistakes you've made in the present life that you don't work through, heal, transform, understand at a deeper spiritual level, you will have to work through in the next life. And so the whole point in saying that is all you really have is right now. And so right now, you need to be healing your beliefs. You need to be healing your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions surrounding your relationships. Because when you don't, in the next life, instead of you being the person who has been abused, you'll be the abuser. This is how crazy it works. Because you need to understand the full spectrum, the full understanding. I know it's a private journal, babe. I didn't read anything in your journal, but I did borrow a sheet of paper. I did borrow a sheet of paper. It came out smoothly. I spoke to the ancestors about it. They said, Dream will be fine. Use that paper. Okay? So, your subconscious mind, which is the energy that is with you from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime, is what attracts you to certain people. Okay? Your subconscious mind is the thing that attracts you to certain people. It even attracted you to your parents. Okay? Because, and then we also can throw in there the chakras. The chakras are your energy centers. They travel with you from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime. Your chakras, which are directly connected to the subconscious mind, are what determines what kind of life you are going to have in the next incarnation. Your chakras, your subconscious mind, are what determines whether you're going to evolve to a higher dimension into another life form. Your subconscious mind is also what determines, okay, let's redo this whole earth thing again. Let's choose. See, y'all got to understand how deep your soul, how multidimensional you are. We have to stop thinking that the manifestation of our relationships is happenstance. Every single person you will ever relate to, have a conversation with, or walk past is reflecting something to you. You have to have a heightened level of consciousness to recognize what that is. Ooh, come on, spirit. Okay. I give you an example. I give you a real example that happened today. Last night, and then I got Stevie Wonder in here. It's powerful. Okay. Last night, I had a dream that I was at this healing center or whatever. And at this healing center, they were, it was a lot of detoxing and purging going on. And this Asian lady comes up to me and she squirts some herb concoction tonic into my eyes. Because in the dream, she had looked in my eyes, right? Because I'm at this healing detox center. She comes in the dream, she looks at my eyes, and she squirts this tonic. And I remember her saying something about mullins, right? So I got to go look at an herb called mullins or something of that nature. If y'all know what that herb is, type it in the chat for me. I haven't even had the time to research it today. Okay? But she opens my eyes and she squirts some of this mullins tonic, something with the herb mullins in it. And I start detoxing and purging in the dream. And there we go, Deja. Thank you, sis. Thank you. Appreciate that. So I start detoxing and purging in the dream. And spiritual enough, the very next dream I had after that, one of my great mother ancestor, my midwife Afua, came into the dream. Patreon family, I just recorded the video of what she had downloaded to me in that dream. So y'all stay on the lookout for that. It should be posted sometime in the near future. But she squirted something in my eyes that caused me to start detoxing, okay? Purging, releasing, all kind of nastiness, right? And so I wake up this morning, I'm doing everything that I got to do. I'm moving forward with my life. I'm understanding my dreams. I'm understanding what I need to do. And I go to the post office to drop off a package. Funny enough, I drove to the post office to drop off my good sis Sierra, who just popped into the chat. I go to the post office to drop off her package. Okay. Go to the post office to drop off her package. And y'all, this was so freaking spiritual. I made the connection, but I hadn't dove all the way into it just yet, right? I'm doing it right now, showing y'all how spirit works. But so I'm in the post office. I finished doing all of my stuff, finished doing her thing and getting the box together and all of that. And this man comes up and grabs my elbow. So random. I'm in the post office. He just walks behind me and grabs my elbow. I turn around and the man is blind. Oh, spirit is coming through. The man is blind. The man is blind. A blind black man, a petite black man. He had a ring on his finger, so married or was married. And he's blind. He grabs my elbow. And I just turn around because I'm like, it was so random. I turn around and I just say, hello. And he says, hey. I'm like, and I just engage him in some conversation. No, babe, he was really blind. Because he even got dropped off there by a taxi. Like I saw, like he grabbed my elbow, and then before you know it, I seen this man says, okay, just wait here. And then the man leaves out, and the man gets in a taxi cab and drives off. Okay? So he grabs my elbow, and I'm like, hi, letting him know who he's holding on to. And that entire time that we were in the line waiting, because the post office line was kind of long, I just continued to guide him and, just let him know. He had his little stick thing, so he was tapping around. He was tapping around with it. And I was just, I felt in that moment that I had done my part in making sure that he got to where he needed to go to with as little work as possible. I just was like, okay, we're moving up now. And he would scoot on up. Okay, we're moving up a little bit more. All right, it's your turn, Wow. But for me, it's feeling like the connection between him and me, and the reason why that manifested was, one, you don't need these physical eyes to have that vision for your life. That right there just brought up some emotion within me. That's powerful. So that's why I say to y'all, every person that manifests in your life is on purpose. Nothing is a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. It's not happenstance that I had that dream, and then next thing you know, a couple hours later, a blind man is grabbing my arm and getting guidance from me on how to get from one place to another. In the dream, these drops were put in my eyes because sometimes we're under the illusion of these two eyes, of what things have to look like, what things are supposed to physically look like for us to know what we're supposed to be doing. These two eyes don't matter. It doesn't matter. Can you see spiritually? Can you see spiritually? I feel like when we are always paying attention to what's going on with these two eyes, we are too much in our masculine nature, too much in our masculine side, and too invested in the physical. And this man just showed me that without seeing what's happening in the physical, I'm always still being guided. You don't have to see clearly. It's an illusion to think, oh, we got to see how we're going to get from here to here. No, that's a lie. You don't have to see physical eyes, masculine energy, logic, and reasoning. You don't have to see how you're going to get from A to B to C. You just have to trust that the guide, the spirit, the energy, the intuition is going to get you there. Wow. The emotion is coming up right now because I hadn't, after I got back from the post office, the ancestors put me to sleep. Literally. I came into our meditation room. This is our meditation room. This is where we meditate at. We have a whole bunch of spiritual stuff all around this room. All around this room, we have a whole bunch of spiritual stuff. Ancestor altar. I told y'all I had a dream about one of my great mother ancestors, my midwife Afua. She was in my dream last night. On Patreon, I go in detail about what she downloaded to me. But I came in here because I was thinking I was going to get some work done. I was thinking, let me go in here because I won't have any distractions. Ain't no TV. I put my phone down. I get into my work. I be on my computer. I do what I need to do, get my work done. The ancestors put me to sleep. And then when I woke up, I went straight into working on my ancestor altar, talking to my midwife, giving her ancestor money, and then coming right here live with y'all. So I hadn't even had the time to start processing what just happened. The point that I'm making to y'all is that every person that manifests in your life, whether you see them, speak to them for 5 minutes, for 5 years, for 50 years, these people show up in your life for a very specific reason. Are you conscious enough? Are you in tune enough to be able to determine what that is? Right now in this moment, I probably stood in that line with that man for 15 minutes. In that 15-minute engagement of guiding him from one step to the next and come on, we're moving forward. All right, we're doing this. That 15 minutes with him showed me that I don't have to see shit in the physical to know that the things that I want, the vision that I have for my life is being made manifest. And all I have to do is trust my guides, trust my spirit, trust my intuition, trust that I got ancestors who are working it out on my behalf. Every relationship, every person that is that manifests in your life is someone that you have attracted for a very specific, a very sacred, a very spiritual reason. But can you see it? And I'm trying to tell y'all that one of the very first things you got to do. See, I could, y'all, I could have been, what you doing grabbing me? Do you know how many unconscious people would have their arm grabbed by somebody and jump and overreact? This man's touch was so gentle. I didn't budge. I didn't even have a budge. Like, it was so gentle. It was almost like a child. He was a petite man. He was a petite man. So his touch was so gentle on my elbow. I said, hey, I spoke to him. So he didn't even feel awkward, because imagine how he could have felt, or how he would have felt grabbing someone at a post office that he don't know. He could have easily felt embarrassed about what just happened. He could have easily felt like, oh man, I'm blind. I just touched somebody. He could have went into victim mode if I did not ease him into knowing that it's okay. Help is on the way. That's some Abraham Hicks for y'all asses. It's okay. Help's on the way. And so I was able to ease him and help him to know that it's okay. I'll support you in getting to where you need to go. With love, with grace. I literally, because he was behind me, like I said, right behind me. So I went up first. And even as I'm doing my stuff, I'm listening to the conversation that he's having with the post office lady, because, they can be funny. But I'm so grateful he had a post office lady that was young, that was sweet, and that was helpful to him. And so I'm just listening, tuning in. I'm like, let me see if he's going to need anything. Because if he needs anything, if something needs to be written down, if something needs to be, I'm going to do it for him. Let me just listen out. Fortunately, the lady who was working with him, she handled it. She said, okay, I'm going to write this for you. And he was like, okay. And I was ready to do anything and everything that this man needed in that moment to have the experience that was necessary for him. Okay? So I want y'all to know that don't take into any engagement. I don't care how traumatic, how toxic, how karmic the situations may be. Don't take it for granted. Because when you don't realize the blessing, the lesson in any experience and in any relationship, you miss out on the opportunity. And I'll be damned if I would have missed out on the opportunity to get confirmation from my spirit guides, to get confirmation from my ancestors that doesn't matter what I'm seeing in the physical. I know that the life that I'm creating for myself, the vision that I have for myself, the manifestations that I'm speaking and asking for, I'm being guided to them and through them. But if I would have not recognized that, okay, this man is manifesting in my space right now for a reason, if I didn't have that understanding ingrained in my being and in my knowing, I would have missed it. Do you understand? So I want y'all to know, as spiritual people, your boss, your coworkers, your mother, your father, your brother, they're always showing you something. Your partner is always showing you something. That person that you cannot stand is showing you something. You better know it. And this is one of the very first things before we go into class, How to Heal from Toxic Family and Intimate Relationships. Before we go into class on August 15th, I want y'all to already start letting this sit on your spirit. I want you to already start having this be something that is in your mind, something that you're thinking about. Because when we go into class, I'm going to repeat this, of course, but I don't want to stay on it too long. I want you to know that your subconscious mind, your energy centers, your connection to spirit, your connection to source, put certain people in your life, because you are source. You are God. You are one with God. Your divine mind is your connection. Okay. So your higher self, put certain people in your life experiences to teach you something. They teach you something. They show you something. And anytime there's any type of emotion, anytime there's any type of uh confusion or anything that comes up, it is a sign to you that your higher self is trying to show you something through another person. People are always reflections. And it is your job on this spiritual path. It is your job on this spiritual path to become aware of what they're reflecting to you. Yeah, Biora, we definitely have a P.O. box. Babe, put that P.O. box in the chat if you can. If not, Biora, I may go, how can I type it in right now? I'll type. Oh, actually, Biora, it's in the chat. It's in the description of every video of mine. The P.O. box is in the description. So you'll be able to see it there once you get off, okay? All right. So every person from Bobby Hemmett to Brother Panic to Miss Blue to Stevie Wonder to Michael Jackson to Whitney Houston, Nipsey Hussle, my mama, to my midwife, to my daddy, everybody is reflecting. The best way and the easiest way for you to get into this class, family, is going to be simply to sign up on Patreon. Become a member on Patreon at the $8 tier. That way you get into the class complimentary, okay? If you don't want to sign up to Patreon, which I don't understand, because signing up to Patreon is going to be the simplest thing for you. Not only that, you are going to receive so much value in Patreon. You're going to receive so much community in Patreon. It doesn't even make sense to pay, because the class itself, if you're not a Patreon member, the class itself is $97, which I love. I love that. I'll take that too. But more important than that is building community. More important than that for Dream and I is building community, is building a tribe of people that we know love us, and we want to give that love back. The Patreon link is also in the description. Okay? So I want y'all to start thinking about what it is your mother, your brother, your father, your partner, your children, what is it that they are teaching you about you? What is your coworker teaching you about you? I used to have a coworker who, white guy, won't say his name, white guy, but he was so, he was never disrespectful to me ever, but the way that he would talk to the kids, we were high school PE teachers. The way he would talk to the kids would bother me so bad. He was the manifestation of white supremacy in my face. He would say stuff to the kids like, "Come here, boy." I would be like, but the lesson that he taught me was that you got to stand up to these people. Because for a long time, for a couple of months when we first started working together, I wouldn't say anything to him about it. And it would make me feel so anxious and crazy on the inside, because I couldn't believe that I was hearing somebody talk to people like this, talk to kids like this, to high schoolers like this. He would call them dumb. That's just dumb. He would do stuff like that. That's just dumb. That's just, why would you do that? That's stupid. Like, he would talk to kids like that. Couldn't believe this. And let me tell you, the very first, so I would have conversations with the kids on the side in passing. I'd be like, you need to be telling your mama that he's talking to you like that. See, he wouldn't talk to my students like that, because you don't got to talk to my students. My students are in order. My students are in check. He would talk to his own students like that. And so I would tell them on the side, these little black boys, I was like, you need to tell your mama about this. Like, why are you accepting that type of behavior? And it's because, one, these high schoolers are on social media, so they're seeing a lot of BS. They're seeing things like this. But I was telling them, I would tell them, you need to tell your mama she needs to come up to the school. I would just whisper these little things to them. But none of that stuff was working because these kids, they were so, it it was normalized for them to be degraded and talked down to. And it was normal for me, the black woman, the black mother, to come and fill them up, and then they go on about their way. They don't even think about it anymore. So I, for a long time, just did that for a couple of months, just trying to whisper in their ear. I even went and told the principal. I told a black woman, a principal at the school. I said, look, he is talking to these kids like this. Y'all need to do something about it. They called him into a meeting. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. They told him stop talking to kids like that. Left it alone. Right? So this is how this systematic stuff is really deep ingrained, even in black people's and in white people's mind. Whatever. Keep it going. As I continue to, I talked to a black man at my school. His name was Sergeant White, right? Former military man, genius, older black brother. I had a conversation with him about it, and he was like, you know what I'm going to tell you? He was like, you got to say something to him. Because he knew that the principal knew. He was like the disciplinarian of the school. He was like, you are the one that got to say something to him. You the one that got to say something to him. And when he said that, I knew that was the truth. But if you went back, if y'all looked at my Drays Diary, I did Drays Diary this week. It dropped on Tuesday. I had trauma that stopped me from being able to verbally express what I was feeling. If you looked at Drays Diary, put a 1 in the chat. I posted it this week. It's called Trauma to Triumph. And what I'm basically talking about in that video is how my mother's abuse stopped me from being able to say what I needed to say when I felt like I was wrong, because I, in turn, didn't want to be abused or didn't want to have arguments and things like that. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all saw that little episode. If you haven't seen it, you're late. And I'm telling you now, you need to go and watch that on YouTube. Drays Diary, Trauma to Triumph. But I realized in that moment that he was giving me the opportunity to heal that trauma. He was see, do you understand what I'm saying about the reflection? He was reflecting to me something that I needed to deal with within myself, which was standing up for myself and saying things to people no matter how uncomfortable it may make them feel. No matter how uncomfortable it may make them feel, I'm doing myself a disservice by keeping this in. Okay? So he was reflecting to me, I need to heal this because I'm feeling uncomfortable, but I'm not willing to say it. I'm not willing to put him in his place. I'm not willing to make him change or to tell him that he needs to change if he's going to be in my space. And so what ends up happening? He does it one more time. I muster up the courage. I muster up the strength. I say, I'm not letting this hold me back anymore. And I tell him, I'm like, Coach, you can't be talking to these kids like that. And here's the crazy part. He has an autistic son. So again, it's the people that manifest in your life are always reflecting something to you. And so I had to tell him, what if somebody was talking to your son like that? How would that feel? How would that feel if somebody told your son he was acting dumb or he did something stupid, or you would be upset? I literally had to tell him that. And in that moment, he gave me an opportunity to heal. Every person you attract in your life is there for a specific purpose, for a sacred reason, right? And they're there to support you in your healing. No matter how traumatic, no matter how toxic, no matter how tumultuous the relationship is, it is always an opportunity for you to heal and transform. So in that moment, he gave me the opportunity he assisted me. Though he made me uncomfortable and the things that he was doing was toxic, he gave me the opportunity to speak up for myself. He was a reflection. Okay. So one of my goals is to teach y'all how to do that, how to recognize that, and how to transform, how to accept the lesson, embrace the lesson, learn the lesson, and evolve from it. Okay? And do you know, when I told him that, he got better. He didn't completely fix it, but he got better. And what I ended up doing, I removed myself from the gym. I removed myself from that gym. At that high school, we had 2 gyms. And usually all the teachers would stay together. In that situation, I said, you know what? I'm going somewhere else. I said what I had to say. You've changed some, but not completely, and that's not my problem. That's these kids' problem. I done already told them what to do. I done already spoke to the principal. I done already spoke to you. If nothing changed, it is beyond me now. And so to maintain my own peace, I'm going to separate myself. And so every class period, I told my kids, we're going next door. We're going in the other gym. And they was mad for a long time, but I put myself first. And they ended up having more fun because we were able to do more because I wasn't having to listen to this white man talk bad about these black kids. Okay? So every relationship is always serving to teach you something. Every relationship is always showing you something about what's going on within you. Okay? Last thing I'm going to tell y'all right now. For the month of to end the month of August, because we're just now really getting started. For the month of August, I'm only taking 5 more coaching clients. I am only taking 5 more coaching clients for the month of August. So if this is something that you've been interested in, I'm telling you now to jump right on into it. Our son is going to kindergarten next week, and I'm about to be a busy mama figuring that out. First kid going to kindergarten, I'm like, oh, I don't know what's about to be happening. We got a lot going on. And so I'm not taking as many people as I would usually take at one time. I'm taking 5 new coaching clients, 5 new coaching clients in this month of August. So you need to get those complimentary calls scheduled so that we can start working immediately. Most of my packages are for 6 weeks. So for a month and a half, we're going hard, okay? 5 new coaching clients. If you want to be one of those lucky ladies to get that work in, I'm telling you now, you want to tap in now, okay? The longer you wait, I'm telling y'all, it's intense. It's intense. This is intense spiritual work. And because it is so, I have to pace myself in working and in doing this healing work. So if you want that work, now's the time for you to get those complimentary calls. Tap in again. Thank you. Thank you, Medicine of Dreams. Y'all make sure y'all follow my girl, Medicine of Dreams. Right there in the chat. Y'all make sure y'all follow her page. I'm going to have her on live, hopefully in August. We're going to go live together, hopefully in August. I know me and Iman are going to go live, hopefully in August. Okay? Me and Iman are going to go live, hopefully in August. And then here's one thing that I also want to say. 2 people that I have had a complimentary call with. My midwife kind of downloaded this to me. My midwife was a top-notch midwife. $7,000 for her to deliver your baby. $7,000 for her to deliver your baby. She's top-notch, right? But one thing that she told me is that she taught, because at one point in time with dreaming our first kid, we couldn't afford that. We couldn't afford that. I know working with me and coaching, some of y'all are single mothers. Some of y'all are, you working a job that probably don't pay a lot. You probably got bills. You got to take care of kids and all that good stuff like that. I totally understand that. But one thing that my midwife told me is that you have to ask for what you want. So in the beginning, when we had our first kid and we couldn't afford that $7,000, we said, hey, what kind of deal can we make? Because this $7,000, that's not within our means, but we know we want to work with you. And she made a way. She made some adjustments. She said, okay, I'll take this amount off. Is that something y'all could do? and was like, all right, we're going to make it happen. So I'm telling y'all that to say this. If you know you want to work with me as a coach and my price is outside of your means right now, don't be afraid to ask what I am willing to do for you. Maybe it's not 6 weeks for an hour. Maybe it's 3 weeks for 30 minutes. Maybe it's 3 weeks for 45 minutes. Maybe it's we have a complimentary call. It ain't complimentary, but maybe we talk for 15 to 30 minutes weekly for you to get whatever it is that you need, okay? Don't be afraid to ask. You got to ask for what you want. If you never ask, the person who is offering the service or whatever, they won't know that you really want it. That's a whole nother topic. I'm going to have to write that down. Because some of y'all are afraid to ask for shit. Some of y'all are afraid to open your mouth because you don't even feel like you're worthy of it. You don't even feel like you're worthy of having this thing. You don't even feel like you're worthy of your healing. And so you're afraid to even ask for it. Okay? So I just threw that out there to y'all. Because I've talked to many of y'all on the phone, and it's been some powerful bills, some powerful conversations. And I get it. Because I'll tell you right now, it's not cheap. Especially if you got children and you got a whole life that you doing and living. It's not. But you need to be mature enough, emotionally mature enough, right? Vulnerable enough to say, hey, D-Ray, that amount I can't do, but I know I want to work with you. Is there any other thing that we can do? I am comfortable with paying this amount weekly, bi-weekly, whatever. I just worked something out like that with another young lady and it's working. She told me what she needed. I set it up for her. We figured it out. I'm here for the work. It's not about the money. I love doing what I do. And that's one thing to my midwife. She loved doing what she does. I would totally do it for free, but I got kids in the home too. Okay? So love y'all. Make it known. Make it known. All right? I'm here for you. I love you. And make sure you join Patreon so that you can be a part of that class August 15th, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I so look forward to doing it. We're going to get all the way into it. I'm going to tell you even more about how you attract, how you heal, what to start recognizing. I'm so excited to dive into it. I appreciate y'all for coming here. We'll talk soon. Peace.